It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast as we talk property news. Of course, we're doing that 7 days a week as heard on iHeartRadio, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Oh, also Amazon. And welcome into a Tuesday morning, May the 14th. Now, we've talked a lot, over the last 2 years about, the build situation. Building is very, very stressful. There's no doubt about that, particularly in the climate that we live in. Imagine waiting for 4 years to build a new home. Now, that can be incredibly frustrating, especially when the project involves unique elements like sustainable design and innovative solutions. Now, from navigating council regulations to tackling the complexities of curved structural elements, can you imagine? As they say, as soon as you bring in a curved structural element, the price goes gangbusters. A 4-year journey would require a hell of a lot of patience. And it also would be a relationship test for most couples. And in fact, I know of at least one married couple who, after 18 months of navigating a new build, decided to call it quits on their 5-year marriage. It's all good though. They've found new partners and they're both happy individuals. But that's how filled with challenges it can be waiting over an extended period of time. However, the end result in this case that we're going to talk about is a serene retreat nestled in lush bushlands featuring spacious interiors and eco-friendly features. It has been well worth the wait. And we're going to bring in the owners of this particular property who are patiently waiting. They are Allan Murray and Ann. And a very good morning to the both of you.
Yeah, good morning, Craig.
If we pick up on that first point, you obviously survived the marriage. 4 years, long time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a coincidence. It's been 54 years married last week, so we've done a lot of things together, a few houses. Anne's the creative one and I'm the implementer, and we're a good team.
Wow, congratulations. That is so much longer than the people that I know with just 5 years. It's true about as soon as you put a curve on a property, the price goes up. So tell us a little bit about why this project of yours took 4 years and why you decided to go for the whole curved approach.
The 4 years was sort of from a rough sketch on a notepad through to us living in a house. It includes full conceptual design, the structural design, getting through all of the council regulations, getting the start ticket and the finish ticket. The build itself was 18 months from the time we got the building permit to the occupancies, but a lot of it was in the preparation. A lot of that 4 years was in the preparation. And we got caught in a bit of a time warp. The Victorian government changed the vegetation rules just as we applied. And unfortunately, nobody knew how to apply them. So we were stuck for 6 months treading water until various officers could sign off on it. Also, I think, as I said in one of the earlier documents, where we live was being investigated as being nominated as a wildlife corridor because we are in between the Sassafras Creek Reserve and the Sherbrooke Forest Reserve. And we get a lot of animals through here, no question. But at the time we put our application in, that hadn't been gazetted, but there was a bit of a fight, I gather, within council about getting approval here.
Wow, I can understand just how long that was going to take with that process as you have documented. So, Ann, let me come to you because you've been a big part of this project. Of course you have. You're there sort of helping and guiding, I guess, the guiding force perhaps. The property has been called a log home. So tell us a little bit about the design for the listener, just in terms of the aesthetic and what you went for.
Well, when the architect came up, they found a fallen tree, and I said, I really want you to go out there. I know what I want inside, but I don't know what I want outside. So they came back and said, oh, maybe we've gone too far. And I said, well, what's too far? And they showed us this design of what looked like a fallen log. It was black. It was colour bond. It was completely round. Had small windows, very long windows for the environment and the shape of it, which worked out really well. But all I could think of was, could I live in a black house?
Yeah.
And my thoughts suddenly went, well, I'm going to have to put a lot of colour inside. But as time's gone on, you don't notice it. It's just blended into the bush now.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course, it helps that husband Allan is an engineer, of course, with all of this.
That's right. Oh, could never have been done without him. Even the architect said you could never have afforded to have it done without him.
And you've got a bit of land, haven't you? I think you're nestled on 1.5 acres of this lush bushland. And for those of you that are wondering where we are talking Dandenong Ranges, right?
That's right. Callista in the Dandenong Ranges, a beautiful part of the world.
And how long have you been there? Because you've actually decided that you're going to move.
Yes, a big decision for us. So it's nearly been 7 years we've been here. Our son's in Queensland and our daughter has decided to move there. So we really want to be with family.
Wow. We were just talking about that last week, of course, the amount of people that are moving to Queensland. I tell you what, you're going to love the temperature, aren't you?
Yet to find that out, really, but we shall see. But as I say, it's all about family. We have quite a few friends and family up there as well, so looking forward to the change.
Well, I can tell you, Anne, your first winter, because I can attest to this, it's like what winter? There's no winter. You know, the climate is just so tropical if you come from a colder climatic condition.
Right, that's true. We sort of came back to Victoria, although we were born here. We came back here for our parents who were ageing. So we had 39 years in the around the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. So we've sort of been in the middle.
Well, lovely to talk to both of you this morning and to tell us a little bit about the log house. I know patiently waiting when we come back after the break, we're going to be talking to Corinne because she's the selling agent there in the Dandenong Ranges. And good luck with everything and good luck with Queensland.
Thank you.
And thank you, Allan, for explaining that so well.
It was a bit stressful at the time.
All good. Thank you very much. And coming up, next we will talk to Corinne.
Decode the property market with insider knowledge and insights to better navigate your real estate journey on the Real Estate Podcast.
One of the things that I think is the most difficult, especially in our new suburbs where we're getting really difficult effects of heat island effect, is that people surround their house with concrete. And on really hot summer days and when we're getting longer and longer heat periods, all of that concrete just heats up and then releases that heat back into your house.
I think the other aspect is that people might not realise how comfortable and nice it can be to live in.
I think it's the easiest thing to mistake. I think I'd been running my own practice for probably 6 or 7 years before I lived in a house that I had designed specifically for myself and my family. And one of the things that actually caught me off guard, coming out of an old Canberra house, I hadn't realised how much of my own personal energy I expended every day bringing the kids home from daycare, keeping them in their coats because it would be -2 inside the house. It would be half an hour, 45 minutes before the house was warm enough for me to take the children's coats off.
Every week, real estate transactions take place as the market shifts month by month. And every day, we keep you better informed and updated on the Real Estate Podcast.
And it is a Real Estate Tuesday. What a lovely story finding out all about Allan and Ann Murray, married for decades and decades. Boy, they knew what they were doing when it came to a brand new build. And Corinne Sukroo from Bell Real Estate in Olinda in the Dandenong Ranges region is joining us. And a very good morning to you, Corinne. These people sound like a great couple to be dealing with.
Yes, good morning, Craig. Greetings from the hills. Yes, they are delightful. They have created a beautiful piece of artwork in the hills. And welcome to our glorious area. I think you need to do a few more stories up here. There's some beautiful places.
Well, I've had a look at the photos, and for those of you that want to have a look at this particular build, you will find it. How would somebody find it?
It's on your major web portals with Domain and realestate.com and our own website. It's a matter of searching Dandenong Ranges, which a lot of people do, and not using any filters because we've got such a diversity in the properties and offerings up here. It can be easily discovered.
Now, I would think, as they always are, these unique types of properties, it will absolutely click for that particular buyer. They will fall in love with it. They'll look at it and they'll go, holy moly, we've been looking all of our life for something like this, and it'll be gone.
Oh, look, absolutely. Due to the minimal environmental footprint that you've got with the property and all the textures and mediums, people come up to the hills for an escape and they want to blend in. They want to live with nature. The passive design principles are all there with this property. It's extremely hard to build in the Dandenong Ranges. And what you have here is virtually a new home with all the conveniences, yet you walk in and it's just so beautifully built. And it's a credit to Ann and Allan.
Yeah, it's got that wow factor, no doubt about that. Now, just to talk about the difficulties, as Allan was sort of highlighting there, building in the Dandenong Ranges because of the protection that the area has.
Oh, look, certainly we live in a green wedge zone with as many overlays and so forth because we don't want to impact the environment. Subdivision is a rarity up here. We like to have our space around us, so we're finding people escaping from the hills to not have the buildings going up next to them and so forth. We're very green up here, so to speak, and we like the separation. We like to go on the walking tracks and around, and these properties have got minimal impact on the environment, which we love. We're amongst Mother Nature, and it is certainly a lovely place to live. I live and work and breathe up here, as we call it, the lungs of Melbourne, so it's a terrific spot.
I haven't heard that before. The lungs of Melbourne, the Dandenong Ranges. Well, we have to leave it on that note. That is a terrific point that you've just made. And enjoy your Tuesday. Thanks for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast, and good luck with all things property where you are.
Will do. Thank you so much for your time.
Every week, unravel the real estate market to empower your real estate knowledge. We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.